All right, guys, welcome to March favorites. I have noticed that when I was kind of pulling all the products that I wanted to share with you is that there's really not much new stuff here. I don't know if this is just me. I think it's not, because I've seen various people kind of echo the sentiment I'm about to share with you, especially if you've been in like makeup, skincare, beauty community for 5-10 years now, which I absolutely have been. You're bored. I'm bored. I don't really buy that much new makeup. I'm more so interested in core products and products that are my favorite types of products. I love bronzer, so I tend to buy that. I love concealer and foundation, so I tend to try those out. But everything else has just kind of been, you know, like you get fatigued. The releases, like, I don't know, like there's just not much room to grow outside of formula, right? Like we've already been wowed by the cool packaging. We've been wowed by like really bright colors or really sparkly shadows. Like we've been there, done that. So I've noticed that like what I've pulled is just kind of like older stuff. I don't really have much new to share with you. So I still love this Rodial Banana Lowlighter. I feel like this was on Skin Store and I talked to you guys about it and then it sold out. And I don't know if this is just still them kind of dealing with it being out of stock and they're just still making it and trying to get it out to everyone, or if it really has just got bought out because everyone has decided, yes, it is so amazing. So it's what I have down my nose. I absolutely just love this product for like normal highlighter on the cheeks as well as to define the center of my nose. The foundation I have been reaching for a lot is the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte. I have a good amount, you can see used. I'm putting in a cushion and applying it with a brush, whether it's the Rodial foundation brush or the IT Cosmetics kind of double-ended foundation brush. I've been really trying to train myself to use brushes for foundation. It's probably something I've noticed, but like I was talking to Andrew about, who was it? Nikki Makeup. He was saying how like she does this really beautiful makeup, and particularly with her complexion, when you watch her tutorials, she does everything with a brush. And I've noticed a lot of makeup artists, they've perfected using a brush, because not that you shouldn't use a sponge and that like a sponge is cheating, but it was like a challenge. So those are the two brushes that I've found that have worked really well for foundation, because the thing with brushes that always turned me off was the streaks, and you could see the bristles like leaving behind like a trail of bristliness. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This foundation with mask wearing, even though there has been this onslaught release of cream blush, cream bronzer, cream highlight, it is very difficult to enjoy any of these products right now. And I really wanted to use them obviously throughout the fall and winter, but you just can't, because it's gonna shift when you put your mask on and when you take it off, or when you have to wear it for an extended amount of time, etc., etc. You know where I'm going with this, yeah? So this foundation has been so good for me as far as like it not having lines after I've been wearing a mask for a while. It also just looks really beautiful. It's what I have on today. I've probably used it 4 to 5 times a week. I will switch it out sometimes with the Estee Lauder, I think, Hydra Rescue, and the Soap and Glory foundation, which I don't know if they're even making that anymore. But the Soap and Glory foundation to me is very similar to this. This is a little thicker and it has a little bit more coverage, but quite similar. Anyway, yes, I have been loving this. The shade I have is 2.7 Vellum. I think it looks really perfect on camera, but I have noticed that when I'm wearing it during the day, it might look a hint, like a hair too dark, but I'm just like fine with it. I'm like, now I'm gonna try and figure out like another shade because we've already bought this, we're just gonna use it up. I am still loving all of these Eclipse powders. I have Blur 21 and 23, which we've talked about for quite some time now. Absolutely amazing. I love them so much. They have a little bit of coverage, but they just blur. The blur is so real and so powerful here. Love. I mean, I just feel like everything looks great, and then I put foundation on, it still looks great, but it's like when I throw this powder on is when I'm like, I feel like transformed. Like I just feel like my skin looks so perfect. In a previous video, I had shared the oil cut powder. So this is the oil version, or the oil preventing version, oil cut, mattifying. And then this one is in shade 21, and this one is their cover pack. This one has a bit more of a pigment type powder. It's not that the blur ones don't have a pigment, but this one has way more of a pigment and it's more mattifying. So I've been just kind of jumping back and forth between all of these powders, just depending on what I'm trying to do. The oil one is really great for my eyebrows. Even today, they're still a little shiny, but what I've been doing before makeup is blotting them with a blotting paper and then running a mattifying powder through them. And I absolutely positively think that has made a huge difference. I feel like my eyebrows are way less shiny. I mean, I'm sure you guys have been distracted many a time in my videos by how shiny my eyebrows were. I don't know what it is, if it's just like my skin or what, but like it is just so glowy under there all the time. So I've been using the Fenty powder, the pressed powder for that. I've used the Romand powder to do that. So just a mattifying powder really has helped tremendously with the shiny eyebrows. A couple concealers. I had hauled this Zoeva concealer for you guys and for me. It's number 90. I love it. I've also been loving the e.l.f. concealer, the brightening concealer in the clicky pen. This one has a little bit more coverage than that one. So, I mean, I just really like this. There's like not much to say about it because it doesn't have a lot of coverage. I just use a bit of a corrector here and then I just apply this over here first and then take whatever's been blended out and then bring it over here and do the rest of it. I mean, we really cannot be, we as in people, I'm 38 now, like I really cannot put concealer on the way I used to. It's much more strategically placed, much more thought out. Like it just, and it's so funny because I don't know, like I've been doing this a lot, but like I've noticed that TikTok, the algorithm on TikTok is like so, like I have thoughts about things and then that's what I end up seeing on TikTok. It's so creepy actually. So right now it's been a lot of like under eye focused TikToks that have been coming up, home hacks and a lot of like financial like type side hustle. I don't know, it's just so weird what I'm being recommended, but I'm very into it. Anyway, this concealer, if you like something hydrating, medium coverage and non-drying, but will still let your skin peek through. Yes. Also, depending on your skin type, you might get a little glow from this. I mean, I tend to set my concealer, but you know, do as you will. The next concealer, Ulta finally got the Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape in. I have the shade Light Medium Sand because it's the shade I have in the mattifying version. The mattifying Tarte Shape Tape I can use in the summer under my eyes. Same with the Clé de Peau Solid Concealer. We veered away from that once, like, you know, it got kind of fall wintry. But once it warms up again, I'm gonna start using that because that gives me such a beautiful coverage. This is not as full coverage as the Tarte Shape Tape, which understandably so, it's a creamier version. I also feel like the shades, while the same, the creamier ones are slightly lighter, which makes sense because mattifying products tend to dry down and deepen a little bit. But the Tarte Shape Tape original version, I love using as foundation in the summer. And I've shown it a lot. I think it was around, I can't remember what year did my sister get married. That was the year I was like really obsessed with that. I would use that, I would mix it in with like foundations. It gave such beautiful coverage and longevity in summer months. So I'm really liking this. This is medium to full depending on how much you put on. I only do a layer of concealer no matter what I'm doing as far as under eyes goes. And I like it. It has really pretty coverage. I have this one on today. So I feel quite covered, obviously outside of right here, but what are we really gonna do about, actually we can do filler. Filler would probably, what are these called, troughs? I just don't think mine are like deep enough where I would do anything about them. But I like this concealer. I'm recommending it to you. As far as eyeshadow goes, I have been really decluttering because I'm trying to like get all my makeup to fit in like one area. So as we slowly move through this process, I have found out like palettes that I just keep in my collection to keep in my collection for I don't know what purpose. I've been just slowly decluttering, and I found that there's just certain palettes that I just go back to over and over again. One of them is the Jackie Aina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I am not like the biggest fan of Anastasia products. I do love the brow pencil, and I always try the eyeshadow palettes and I like them for like a hot second, then I'm not into them, which really means I'm not that into them. But this palette, I kind of put off purchasing for a really long time because I was like, you know, I'm just gonna not like it. But the reviews were always so incredibly positive that I was like, okay, fine. So at some point I must have picked it up last year. I pull this palette out all the time. When I'm like, I'm not really sure what I wanna use, I'll use this. It's so pretty. The formula here is so good. It has to be different than the other palettes because the other palettes I could not get myself to continually revisit, whereas with this one all the time. I have various purples and pinks on the lids today. I have, let's see, what else did I mix it with? I have a NARS palette that I mix it with, but I have these 3 shades in combination. I use this shade as like the base of everything. It's just fantastic. I do believe while this was limited edition, it's still available in certain places, so I'll link it where I can find it. It's probably also on sale, which is even better. This NARS Afterglow eyeshadow palette, I believe this still might be on the NARS website. I actually just put in a purchase with for the Euphoria face palette. It has eyeshadows and highlighters. NARS packaging is just like so incredibly stunning. I'm like wowed every time they release something. I want everything that they put out in palette form just for the packaging, but I don't buy things for packaging. I buy things for function. So like if it coincides that the packaging is amazing and the product is amazing, then it's like a double win for me. So I have this pink on. Actually I only use the pink from here, and then the rest is the Jackie Aina palette. But oh no, just kidding, I have this orange on the lids. Okay, so there's a close-up of the eye makeup I love, obviously. I'm also really sad about this because I've been using this a lot, but it's the NARS Extreme Effects. I think this completely sold out. It was released last year. I think by the time Christmas or the beginning of the year rolled around, it went to like 50% off and it just completely sold out. Like I don't know where it might be in stock right now, but this, so amazing. And then these 2 shades are kind of like a softer, creamier type formula. I feel like this is a new formula from them that I haven't seen in other palettes, but this is also a palette that I've been reaching for a lot. A couple lip liners that I feel like I haven't shared with you enough. I know I've mentioned them before, but they're the Melt lip liners. If you want a dupe of the Pat McGrath lip liners, her lip liners are amazing. They're this like gel pencil formula that I hadn't seen until she released them. And then I realized that these are very similar. I just picked these up on a whim one time. Like I picked up one from like Beauty Bay, loved it so much, picked up another color. I have the shades Headbang and Foxy. I have a combination of the 2 on today with the Sephora Melting Lip Click in Caramel. The top is Foxy, which is a more brown liner, and then the bottom is Headbang. I have Foxy kind of around the entire lip, and then I kind of blended in the rest of my lip with Headbang and just kind of blend them together. The Nabla Cupid's Arrow. I have all the shades now at this point, and the last one I picked up was a brown, which I like, but this is the one I've been reaching for a lot. It's number 1, and it's this color that you could probably use on your lips. I think I have, but it was like just too like not what I was looking for. This would really be really good if you were trying to contour your lips to make them look bigger. So if you had like a thinner lip and you kind of went around the perimeter of your lip with this and then kind of did your makeup and made it kind of one with your foundation, you could absolutely probably fake larger lips with this depending on your skin tone. But I've been using this shade a lot for my eye base. These are multi-use, so you can use them all over your face, but this color in particular, I've been using it on the lower lash line and then on the lid. I just like blend the whole thing out before I apply my eyeshadow, and so pretty. This is that look, that kind of model off-duty look if you were not gonna do eyeshadow and you were just gonna use this. Sometimes when I see models get their makeup done or just models do their makeup on their own. The ones that have like a very natural darkness around their eyes, and when they just kind of start applying their foundation and it slowly kind of evens out their skin tone and they're just kind of left with the discoloration around their eyes, I think it looks so pretty. Like, it looks really gorgeous, and I feel like this could accomplish that look so beautifully because it's so smooth, but it sets, and then you can use it as an eye base. I use eye crayons for my eye base all the time, and this has just been like the newest addition that I've been loving. Lastly, as far as makeup goes, I'm going to talk about contour products again. The 3CE contour palette, love this. It has been used almost every day because of this shade right here. I use it to clean up my underbrow area, and then this color for bronzer and contour. It's a really great palette because it's a combination where you can use it as your bronzer and your contour. Whereas this one I've talked about a lot, it's the Misha Cotton Contour in Salted Hot Chocolate. This one is more of just a contour shade. When I do use this as bronzer, it is a little intense, so I kind of regret it sometimes, but as a contour, it's absolutely beautiful. So Eclipse, I talked about this powder. I think I just showed it to you. It is more of a contouring powder, as in it's promoted that way, but to me, it's just like a really beautiful bronzer. I'll do swatches of everything later. So pretty, so soft. It kind of reminds me, the formula of the powder reminds me of their Blur powder, which is probably why I like it so much. Like, it's just this, like, this really soft, silky thing that like blends so easily. And then lastly is the Full Shot Hidden Contour. It's by ABH, and I think this is like very similar, or is probably the same brand that Misha comes from. Like, it's an umbrella brand. There's a lot of brands under it, and I believe this and Misha are quite similar. And this one has 3 shades. I literally take an angled brush and I put the densest part at the bottom. We kind of rub it back and forth, and I apply it and blend, and it looks so good. So, so good. This is definitely one of those like contour plus bronzer type products. All right, here we go with swatches. I just feel like contour products are so hard to swatch. So these first 3 are the Style Nanda 3CE. This is the Misha Salted Hot Chocolate. The formula on here really is just so delicate, so it's like so good for contouring. This is the Eclipse shading powder that kind of mimics more of a bronzer type shade. And then these 3 shades are the Hidden Contour, the Full Shot. These are also really good. I think Misha, ABH, these like formulas are very, they almost feel like they're dry, but like dry silky. It's like hard to describe for me. And then this is just I love all of these. I use these all the time, every day. Contour products goes 100% to K-Beauty. I'm just so uninterested in what we have to offer here. Every contour product I have is probably mostly, generally, K-Beauty. All right, so lastly, have I talked about this yet? The whole like makeup being boring thing? Anyway, yeah. So even with makeup being more boring to me, I veered into more K-Beauty, and I'm also just like way more into candles, way more into body care. So things that I really haven't kind of played around with before. I clearly love shopping, right? So let's just like not pretend like I'm cutting down. I'm just like buying different things. So I bought a repurchase, the Malin & Getz Rum Body Lotion. I have not even close to being finished with the one I already showed you guys, but this was on Rue La La on a discount, and these are kind of pricey, and this is probably why I haven't gone into body care before, because kind of more high-end to luxury body care, it's expensive. Like, I know, right? Like makeup you can use over and over again. I mean, I guess this stuff you can also continue to use, but there's just like a weird cost per use thing that this really is expensive, and it really is a luxurious experience if you're going to be putting your money here. Love it. I am so ready to like have me in my home and Sumo and everything I am around to smell like this scent. I also grabbed the Rollerball, the oil. They have a perfume and they have a candle. Trust that that candle is going to get bought at some point. I'm just deciding between waiting for kind of points to accumulate and picking it up from Nordstrom, or like be impatient and just grab it from like Selfridges. But whoever is signed up for the Selfridges Global Plus, have you guys noticed that there is tax now? I saw like a 7% addition to like what I was thinking about purchasing. Anyway, this is the Dark Rum Rollerball. It's the oil. I just love this smell so much. I feel like this is a smell that is really perfect for, say, like if you and your husband or you and your boyfriend or you and whoever, if you're living with a guy, like it's a very great unisex scent that you could just have everywhere. It's so delicious. I need to go smell more of their stuff in person because there's like bergamot stuff, there's eucalyptus, which is not my super favorite, but like, I mean, I enjoy it still. So I feel like there's a lot of things from the line that I would enjoy. I have their cannabis candle. Oh my God, I love this so much. I love this so much. Okay, so those are my March favorites. Let me know. Candles, body care, it's what I'm really into. Let me know. I will see you in the next video.